wanted to do a rundown of some of my favorites of 2019. I haven't filmed very much this year, and I feel like I've gotten a little bit out of the beauty routine and moved more into fitness things, but I have a few things that I wanted to share with you guys, and I felt like filming this morning, so I thought I would go ahead and share. I don't have a ton for makeup favorites this year. I feel like this year it was a lot of just sticking with what I knew, and so a lot of the products I used were the same products that I generally use. So the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte is a foundation favorite that has been a foundation favorite forever. I've gone through a few different ones. This one actually is in a shade that's way too dark, but I use it as my summer mixing shade, and this one's almost gone too, so I don't have this currently in my rotation, but this is a forever favorite. I've loved this one. This is what I used most of the year for foundation. Recently though, I have been loving the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. This one I actually bought like a year ago, and then I never used, and now I'm probably about a third of the way done with it. Since I finished that stuff off, this became my go-to, and I really like it. I do feel like it makes a nice finish on the skin. I don't get overly oily with it. I'm in the color 190, if you're curious. So that's what I'm wearing on my face today. I really do like it. I didn't like it at first, but it's grown on me quite a bit. For eyeshadow, I feel like this year I, more than usual, resisted buying eyeshadow palettes. I only bought a few. I think I only bought a couple. But I've also learned that there are some that I've had in my collection for a while that I absolutely love. So ones that I have gone to over and over and over again is, first off, is my MAC. This is my self-made palette that I made, but this one I've had for a few years and I just never reached for, and I don't know why, because I found this year I've reached for it more often than I ever have, and it's been a lot of, when I use this look, I almost always like my eye look. My husband compliments my eye makeup when I wear this. So a lot of times with this palette, I will use, let's see, I need to actually look up what these colors are. One moment. All right, so I think, if I remember correctly, the ones that I use the most often, this one I think is All That Glitters. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that one I will usually use all over my lid. This one I think is Soft Brown, and I use in my crease, and then Cranberry I use in the outer corner and then under my lash line. And those together look beautiful almost always. It's astounding to me how simple that eye look is, and I'm almost always happy with it. It's warm, but it's not like an overly red tone, but I really have been enjoying that. I mentioned in a products I regret buying video a long time ago that I never really used these purples, and I wish I hadn't bought all of those because they look really similar. I still think that. This is the side of the palette that I stick to, but I have absolutely been loving that, and it makes me want to buy more MAC shadows, but I also know I don't need more eyeshadow. One of my goals for 2020 is to try to work through more of my eyeshadows because Lord knows I don't need more. Another favorite that I've had for a while is this one. This is the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, and I don't feel like people talk about this one very much anymore. I feel like I have gotten rid of all of my other Naked palettes. So I had the Naked 1, 2, and 3 at one point. I sold the 2 and 3 because I never used them. And then I depotted a lot of the Naked 1, and that's in my disgusting looking Ofra palette. And I had panned a few different colors, and then I just kept the rest. I didn't buy the Naked Reloaded because I didn't feel like I would use it. I never bought the Naked Cherry, but the Naked Heat, this is my jam. I personally think this is the best Naked palette. And when I'm going for a more dramatic, dressed up look, it will almost always be this one. So this one, I just feel like the red tones are so beautiful. I feel like it complements my eyes really well. And even if the looks don't look that different, I always reach for this one if I'm looking for a more dressy, fancy type of eye look. So I have used these two palettes probably the absolute most this year. And I found that I love them even though they've been in my collection for a while. I didn't need to buy new things to necessarily get joy out of my makeup again. I just had to rediscover some of the stuff that I had. So for the next year, I want to do a better job of shopping my stash and going through and using the stuff that I have. I think I'm going to try to limit myself to only buying 2 palettes for the next year. I think. I don't know. I might do a whole video on my resolutions for next year, and that's going to be a piece of it. If you're interested in seeing that, let me know that in the comments, but hopefully you are. I might do it anyway, but I think that's going to be part of it. I think I'm not going to buy any more than 2 eyeshadow palettes for the next year, and I want to kind of comb down my collection and get rid of some of the stuff that I know that I never use. My last eyeshadow palette that I use all the time is one that was kind of a surprise. I bought this one because it was on sale. I did a video a while back of things that I only bought because they were on sale. And I bought this one because it was on sale. So this is the Tarte Clay palette. And this one is the volume 1. So this one is the one where it's all just like browns and, you know, doesn't have any blush or anything like that in it. This is probably my most used palette in my collection. It is the most useful palette because even though it's super boring, it's all matte, or almost entirely matte. There's like one shimmer. This one over here has shimmer. But it's almost entirely matte, and the colors are the best colors to use as a complementary palette. So this one is the one that I will reach for if I need a matte color to blend out my crease, or a matte brow bone highlight, or if I need to darken up the crease a little bit. It's just the best. It smells really good too. But I was surprised that this became one of my most used. I don't have any of the Naked Basics palettes anymore, but this one I think is the most useful. It always goes with me when I'm traveling. I always have it out on my vanity. It's amazing. I'm so glad I have this one because I use it all the time. The last makeup product that I'm going to mention for 2019 are these Maybelline Superstay ink crayons. These I have found myself using over and over and over again. This one is in Stay Exceptional, and then this one is Accept a Dare. I think I have one more in my purse. But these are just really basic lip pencils, but I have loved them. I feel like they wear really nicely. So they have a more precise tip that you can also sharpen. They have a sharpener at the end so that if it becomes dull that you can fix it. I love the colors that they have. So the colors I have are really basic colors because I don't really use a lot of ones that are kind of crazy. Today I have the probably most out of my comfort color that I've worn in a long time. This is the Sophia Nygaard ColourPop Mrs. Norris, which these are super cute. I bought 3 of those from her collection because I love her, but also this color is really fun. It's not something I usually do, but I enjoy it. Anyway, I feel like they are great. They stay really well. They don't wear off weirdly. They are not overly drying as like some of my other ones. Like I rebought the ColourPop Lippy Stick in Lumiere, and I realized how drying that formula is, and I don't like it as much now that I've had some of these other products. So I am not going to buy this in any more colors because I don't need it in any more colors, but I really love the formula of these. So if you're looking for a good lippy stick, I think these are great. So that's it for my makeup favorites. I feel like this year has been kind of a stagnant year for makeup, and I feel like next year is going to be kind of the same way. I'm trying to be better with my finances. It's new year. You know, that's always the goal. But I feel like this year I kind of settled into my makeup collection and I didn't buy a ton of stuff. I was much more reasonable about what I brought into my collection regarding makeup products, which is the first time in a long time that that's happened. So I'm hoping that next year I can kind of continue that, and that'll help me out financially, but also help me work through my collection a little bit more. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was kind of my workout favorites. So over the past 2 years or so, I have become a little bit obsessed with workout clothes, and it's been a little bit of a problem, but there are a few things that I really want to talk about that I absolutely have loved this past year. So I feel like I mentioned it might have even been in last year's favorites. There's a brand called Senita that is a US based company that was started by 2 sisters. So it's an online athletic wear brand that is really reasonably priced, and they've kind of become my obsession for the last year. I made at least 1 order a month for the entire year of 2019 except for October. I don't think I ordered anything in October, but other than that I ordered at least 1 order every month because they have these really cute collections. They have great clothes, it's good quality, and it's not overly expensive. So I wanted to talk about a few of my favorites, but I'm also going to do just a Senita collection video. I think I'm going to try to film that tomorrow, but it's going to share all of my Senita that I have, what I think are the best, what I think is maybe not so worth it, and then try it all on for you guys because I think it's valuable and it is my absolute favorite workout brand. I wear it to the gym almost always. I'm actually wearing a Senita top right now even though I'm not working out, and Senita joggers. I've got a problem. The few of the things that I want to share with you guys that are some absolute standouts are the Tahoe tanks. So I have the Tahoe tanks in every single color because they are my favorite workout tops. So it's a high neck top, and it's got like a razor back. It's seamless along the sides and the bottom, and then it is just like a really thin, flowy, soft material that dries really fast. So I have it here in this kind of mauve color, and then like this is their purpley fossil color. I wear these constantly. The Tahoe tanks are my absolute favorite. I think they're only like $19 or something like that, and they're the best. They're so great and breathable, and I will buy the Tahoe tanks in any color that they come out with because I wear them so often, and they're great. So I would highly recommend the Tahoe tanks. And then they also have, so this is kind of a crazy print, but these are their baseline shorts. So their baseline shorts are 5-inch shorts that have pockets, which is kind of Senita's deal, is most of their clothes have pockets, but they have pockets at the top, and then there's actually pockets at the bottom for if you play tennis. But I really love these just for working out and for running. They have some 3-inch shorts that I find ride up a little bit. They're not very comfortable for me, and they don't make me feel very confident, so I don't feel like I can wear them to the gym. I don't like running in them because they ride up. But the 5-inch ones I think are great because they are more modest, but they don't ride up. They also have 7-inch ones that I get lots of compliments on at the gym, but they're not my favorite. I feel like they make me look a little frumpy because I'm short. But the 5-inch baselines are my absolute suggestion. This is their herringbone type fabric pattern thing. And then the other thing that I constantly wear from them, not even to work out in, you can work out in them, I worked out in it the other day, but are their Ava crop tops. So it is just literally a crop top with like a crossover back and a built-in bra with padding. And I love those to wear under other things. So like I have lots of kind of shorter, not necessarily full crop, but shorter shirts. And I like to wear tanks underneath them, but sometimes my tank tops are too long, so the crop tops are like the perfect thing to wear underneath them. Because of the built-in padding and bra, you don't have to wear another bra underneath, so I don't have to wear like a strapless bra or anything like that. They are just the perfect layering piece. I can wear them to run, but I am smaller chested, so it's not a big deal. I don't need a ton of support. More than anything, I wear them as a piece to layer. So I think that they're great for everyday wear. There's quite a few Senita pieces that people say they wear for everyday wear. I don't typically wear like their leggings or anything like that as everyday wear, but those are like my top 3 favorite staple Senita pieces that I would recommend you check out if you're interested in them. I also have a referral link that I'll leave linked down below. I get like loyalty points or whatever, but you get a 15% off if you want to check them out. It's not anything sponsored by them. I just absolutely love them. I have gotten my sister and one of my really good friends hooked on it. I've gotten several people at the gym hooked on it. It's pretty exciting. I love them, and they're so affordable, which is why I have a problem with buying too much stuff from them. But if you're interested, I plan on doing a full Senita try-on review of my collection tomorrow. That's my goal, is to film it tomorrow. I totally forgot to mention one of the things that I have here. All right, so in addition to Senita being a favorite workout brand, the other favorite thing that I've had this year are these Gymshark leggings. So these are their Gymshark Camo Seamless, I think. They have butt scrunch action happening back here. I'm not usually a big camel print person, but these leggings are so comfortable and so flattering. So they're seamless waistband at the top, but they have lots of good compression. They look kind of textured. They're more of like a knit fabric. I wore my black ones to the gym the other day, and people were like, can I feel those? Because they look like they have an interesting texture. But these are probably my favorite leggings of the year. So I have these in purple and I have them in black. They came out with a few new colors in December that I didn't buy. I'm trying to be good. Part of my resolution is that if I get down to a goal weight that I have for myself, I will let myself buy more workout clothes, but I'm not going to until that because I went a little crazy this year. But they are super comfortable and supportive. I like them to run. I like them for the gym when I do like typical squats and lifting and those sorts of things. They're great. I would highly recommend them. I think when I hit my goal weight that the different color of these will be my purchase that I will allow myself to make. Let's see, other favorites for this year. Oh, I was going to mention kind of beauty-ish. One of my other favorites for this year has been the way that I've been doing my hair because it's been so much easier for me. So my hair right now is how I wear it to work most days. So I will Dutch braid it overnight. So I usually work out in the afternoon. I will shower that night. I'll Dutch braid it overnight. And then when I take it out, it is kind of crimpy. I will spray it with like a texturizing spray. And then I will use my Conair Infinity curling wand. I've had this for like 10 years. I've had this for a really long time. It is my absolute favorite curling wand, and it's super cheap and I still love it. It still works. I will use that just to curl random pieces in my hair so I don't recurl everything because I already have the texture from the braids. I will just recurl some pieces, usually the top layer and a couple pieces on the bottom. And then it looks like this, which I really, really like. I feel like it takes me 5 minutes in the morning to do my hair this way. I like the way it looks. It's more of like a natural kind of texture this way and it's not overly curled. I haven't been straightening my hair very much because it just takes so long and I don't care enough. So this has been my hairstyle that I've been using most of the year and I really like it. I think it's easy and quick and I like the way that it looks. Last up for favorites are kind of my entertainment favorites. So the probably highlights of my year have been Schitt's Creek and Community for TV shows. Schitt's Creek is so good. I slept on that one for so long. I feel like my mother-in-law tried to show us an episode like 2 years ago and we didn't watch it after that, and then I started seeing stuff pop up and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I can't say I was fully invested in it until season 3. And then I was like in it, and then I rewatched the series I think twice after that in this year. It's so good. It's so funny. The characterization is amazing and it's just great. I have no complaints about that show. It took me a while to like the characters, but that's only because they're not supposed to be likable at the beginning. So if you're not familiar with the show, basically the premise of it is that there's this family of wealthy people. They owned this big company. The daughter's a socialite. And then they find out that their business manager has embezzled from them and they have absolutely nothing left except for they own this town, Schitt's Creek, that the dad bought as a joke for his son because he thought the name was funny. And they move into this town that's like this tiny little podunk town. Everybody's a little weird there. And them adjusting to their lives of not having fame and fortune and living in this weird town is pretty much the story and how they grow and change over the course of living in this town. This season that's coming up is their final season, so that starts on the 7th, I think. I'm so bummed that it's their final season, but I'm glad that they get to end it on their terms, and I'm really excited to see the season. I love that show. If you haven't watched it, you definitely need to give it a chance because it's fantastic. And then the other one is Community, which has been over for a long time, and I never watched it, but we recently started watching it on Hulu, and we're in season 3 right now, I think, and there's 6 seasons of that show, and it's amazing. The best thing about that show is that each episode is really different. So when you binge watch it, there's not a lot of repetition necessarily. They call back to jokes that they've done before, but it's not something that you feel like you're watching the same thing over and over again. Where, for example, I love the show Letterkenny, but that show relies so heavily on jokes that they just do over and over and over again that there's episodes that you watch that you feel like you've watched that episode before. And Community is 100 times different because each episode is so stylistically different that you never know what to expect from it. And it's just funny. It's just a good show. So if you haven't watched Community, if you missed it when it came out the first time, I'd recommend going back and watching it, or even if you have watched it, go back and rewatch it. It's a funny show. Community, if you're not familiar with it, is basically the premise that there's these 7 people that they end up going back to this community college for different reasons, and they form a study group. All of them are from very different walks of life, and they have very distinct characters. And it's just a fun show. I really, really like it, and it's a great one to binge watch just because it's so silly and you can watch it. It's not like heavy. I don't like heavy shows, if you can't tell. I really appreciate shows that I can just go watch that are fun and funny and lighthearted. For music this year, I have listened to a lot of Panic at the Disco. I went to see a concert from them earlier this year, which was amazing. Brandon Urie is incredible. But just their newer CD, the one that has High Hopes and Hey Look Ma, I Made It on it, is beautiful. I think my Spotify said I listened to like 41 hours of Panic at the Disco this year. They were my most played band. They were fantastic. I absolutely loved them. Tessa Violet was really heavily played for me this year. She had an EP that came out and I love all of the songs on it. Tessa Violet is a really good songwriter and she has just very interesting lyrics, and I got to see her in concert and that was a lot of fun. Backstreet Boys I saw in concert this year, which was really a good time because Nick Carter was like my first crush, celebrity crush. So seeing them in concert was really fun. I actually really, really like their new album. So there's Don't Go Breaking My Heart and Passionate and No Place, I think, are my favorites. But I really like that album as a whole. I didn't think I would like new Backstreet Boy music, but I really, really liked that one. And the concert was a lot of fun. They're still dancing. I mean, one of them is like 40 or something like that, and he's still dancing and doing like the boy band moves. It was impressive. Last random entertainment thing, the musical Six is a musical based on the 6 wives of Henry VIII. So he had 2 wives that were beheaded, 2 were divorced, 1 died, and then 1 survived the rest of his life. And so the musical Six is about each of the different wives and what their life was like. It's very poppy, so it's based, each wife is supposed to be based on a different musical diva. So one is supposed to very much be like Celine Dion type of thing, you know. And so each of them is very stylistically a different song. But I really, really enjoy it. I listen to it when I'm running. I listen to it just to sing along to and listen to in the car. It's a really fun musical. If you haven't listened to it and you like history, it would be fun. It might be one that you might enjoy. It's not a traditional musical. I think when it's actually on stage, it's like 90 minutes and it's not like a full set. It's just them kind of more like a concert. But it's going to Broadway soon, I think. So it's one that I really, really like. It was probably my favorite musical find of the year. Is there anything else? I feel like that's it. I feel like I've rambled on a lot. I don't know. This year felt like kind of a weird year. It felt very disconnected for me. I switched teaching positions this year. So I went from teaching at a middle school to now I teach in an elementary school. I have a different subject area, and it's just all lots of new. And so I'm finally settling into that. So that was the second part of my year, was getting used to that job. Plus I had a really tough grad school semester that kind of messed with me. I had some anxiety and a little bit of depression this past semester trying to cope with all of that. But this next semester has to be better because I'm almost done with grad school. I graduate in May, which I'm very excited about. I feel like I'm finally getting the groove of my job, and I'm getting used to the ages and getting used to what I'm teaching and settling in. I know the people there now a little bit better. Here's to a better 2020 than 2019. But those are the things that I loved this year. I would love to hear if you guys have some favorites or if you have any thoughts on any of the things I mentioned. Let me know that down below. If you have any great TV, lighthearted, funny TV show recommendations or music recommendations or musical recommendations, I would love to hear those. I think that's it. I will try to film more videos here the next couple days before I go back to work for the second semester. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one.